Yo, what's up, YouTube? It's YT Wake 'em Up. And y'all know I'm back with another one. Right now, we about to watch some people talk about how they just got fired. That's never a good situation. That's never a good scenario. That's never nothing you want to be in. That's a day you dread like locks. But everybody been there, right? So y'all know the feeling. But thankfully and hopefully this not you going through it. Hopefully you can just watch people going through it without you being one of them. But if you've been fired recently, then I feel for you. And drop it in the comments too. How long has it been since you had a job? I just like y'all to be transparent, and I like it to be a safe space, man, to where everybody can talk about what they going through, what's going on in their life, and, you know, their current situation pretty much. Let me know if y'all like these shorter videos too. Instead of the ones that's like 15, 20 minutes, I try to make them under 15 minutes, like no more than 15 minutes. Let me know how y'all like them. But with that said, y'all, I got a couple rules. I need everybody to thumbs up this video. Let's try to get this one to 500. Make sure you smash that subscribe button. Yes, sir. Get it in. Make sure you smash that subscribe button so you can see these videos pop up.
So I was fired today and wanted to come on because I feel like, number one, this happens to a lot of people. And I was really blindsided by it. The reason I wanted to come on, number one, is because I feel like this happens to a lot of people, and it's like shocking and a lot to process. You know, you work for a company with people for a long time, and then to like just get a Zoom, or like, this was like a random meeting put on my calendar, and it only showed like my manager on it. I didn't know like the HR person was gonna be on too, and then they just like said it very kind of coldly and then they just read out like the severance stuff and just said like, you know, it's your last day, effective immediately, and then just like log off, and you're just kind of like, what is happening? And I think the problem for me is, so they said it was because of a conflict of interest, and essentially at the start of the year, my husband, who worked at the same company as me at the time, he quit because he didn't, you know, he wanted to pursue other things. And at the time, I remember them being really pissed about it because my husband is really good at his job. He's really good at sales, and they just kind of lost this really great salesperson. So they were blindsided by him leaving. And then one day randomly, my manager called me. It was like, you know, how's it going? You know, normal conversation. And then he goes on to like completely blindsides me, and he's like, so where's Tanner going? And I'm like, I don't know, like he's just figuring out what he wants to do. We have a couple real rental properties, and I was like, he's gonna work on like managing them, and yeah, like I don't know, that was like it. I just said he's doesn't know what he wants to do yet. He just wants to change like what he's doing. And then he's like, well, you know, if he ever works at one of our competitors, then that's good, and you guys live in the same household, that's going to be a real problem. And I'm like, okay. It was just a really uncomfortable situation, and I felt like my job was being threatened at the time. So I get off the call, tell Tanner about it, and he's like, what the fuck? He didn't have, you know, the balls to ask me directly about what I'm doing, like no questions about it to him when they had a conversation on the phone, but he'll go to my wife and try to get information out of her. So that just set him off. So we reported that to HR, had a conversation about it, and yeah, I mean, it was fine, moved on. I like reviewed the handbook and everything, and it didn't say anything about like, you know, family or spouse working at another company. So flash forward to like April, May, and Tanner came out on LinkedIn and said he's working at this adjacent company now. And I'm guessing that's what set them off, because I got let go because of a conflict of interest. And it's because my husband works at a competitor company. My husband, not even me. And I'm just trying to process this. So like I went back to the handbook and they added that your family cannot work at a competitor. Your family cannot work at a competitor. What?
Yeah, so I hear that's the new way they've been going about it. People pretty much just think they got a Zoom meeting. They think it's all good, Oh, just a normal little group meeting. They probably just giving us some new protocol, some new rules we gotta follow. They just probably want to keep us in the knowing of what's going on with the company. But then on the call, they realize, wait a minute, I'm being fired. It's like the job's really kind of scary acting to me. They can't just tell you straight up. They want you to think it's fine. Then they get you on the call. Then they fire you. The part I don't like is them making people complete the shift just to fire you. That never made sense. Just tell the person at the beginning of the day, you want to get the last little bit of work up out of them before you let them go. I mean, I get it. I mean, you have a few more hours on your check or whatever, but why do all of that? A lot of people just won't want to go in if they know they're going to be fired. That's just something I had to point out. Nowadays, these jobs want to get you on Zoom calls and then fire you on Zoom in the middle of nowhere without you knowing. No warning, no nothing, just fire you.
Well, I got fired again. So I had to pull myself together because this doesn't deserve a cry. But I don't know if you followed me back in January, but I was a recruiter and I lost my job. And I also do like social media marketing. And I ended up losing that job on the same day. And I got pretty much fired twice in one day in January. The social media, everything like the recruiting, that was just, layoffs and stuff like that. And then the social media, they just obviously couldn't afford a budget for marketing, which totally made sense. But it was just kind of hilarious. Like, did I just get fired twice in one day? So, yeah. Then I got this new job and I started, and today I got fired again. So, I would come on here. So with my platform, I just like tell people everything and just express everything, but I never talk bad about anything. I would never talk bad about a company. I would never talk bad about any situation or anything like that. I just make light of situations. So supposedly I get a call today and they're like, we've seen your TikTok and today's going to be your last day. And I was like, okay. And some of the videos that they said, there was one where I was talking about training and I was like, oh my God, like, does anyone go after training and they learn all this stuff? And you're like, wait, what did I just learn? I learned so much. So they got mad about that. And then another video, came on here. I was like confused. I was like having a really depressed day. And I was like, do you ever have this feeling where it's like you're not passionate about your job, or you're like, oh my God, this is a job I'm gonna do forever. But then you're just sad. But it wasn't me bashing the job. It's more just like, I went through this like confusing state where like, is this what I want to do or is this not what I want to do? Because like, I'm turning 31 and it was like having that mental breakdown. And I just come on here and just, express how I'm feeling and seeing if anyone else feels that way. Then another one I did kind of like a joke being like, I was like calling a client or whatever. I think it was just like a voicemail and I was just like, be quiet so they call you back, just like making a joke, because I did get a lot of people, clients and recruiters on this platform from my first video that blew up about recruiting. So like I always try to weave some things in there to see if like I can make any connections that way. So I'd like try to make light of the situation. I think that cut off. But yeah. And so I'm like, I find it kind of bad that they didn't give me a warning. Like they should have been like, hey, like we saw this. Like, we don't want you talking about your work at all. And I would be like, okay, I'm so sorry. And I could have made that decision being like, okay, I'll take it down. Or, I love doing TikToks. And that's like I made this brand for myself that I want to continue doing it. So that means like this job isn't for me. And they also were like, we see that you're posting on during work hours. And I'm like, I'm like, well, I always post in the morning. I post 3 things in the morning and I have it set up so it sets and does it. And I'm just like, and also I'm like, what am I, back in the restaurant industry where I can't just like go for 4 seconds and like post something? Like, I'm a little confused. I think I'm gonna have to do a part 2 because this is a long story. So stay tuned.
She got to be a very positive person with a good outlook on life, because fired twice in one day, it would have been World War III around this motherfucker. You can't fire me twice in one day. I'm one of them people going in there with the blicky. What you mean? It's like, nah, though. But 2, let me just say this, y'all. Don't lose your job over social media unless you make it more off of social media. Because I'm seeing this. A lot of jobs really care about their reputation. You can't even. It was a dude who he got into a fight for the company. He was a security guard. And they fired him because he didn't look good getting beat up in their uniform. That wasn't good for the company. These jobs really don't care. They care about their reputation more than you. And another thing, these jobs want to see that you're going to stay there forever. They want somebody who's going to die at the job. Somebody who's going to dedicate their whole life to the job. So you got to know that. You got to watch what you say on social media if you're going to be on there. Me, I wouldn't care. I'm going to be myself. I'm going to keep it 1,000 no matter where I'm at. If you don't like me, so be it. Right? But that's why I employ myself. Because I know I'll be one of them people getting fired twice in a day. But you know we're going to speak facts on this channel. Y'all got to watch what y'all say. These people are monitoring y'all social media pages. And at the end of the day, you pretty much can't have a life outside of the job. What you do outside of the job still represents you as an employee under that job. They feel like they own you. Like they your master. But at the end of the day, boss does mean master in Dutch. So it makes sense.
I just got fired from my job. This was my pre-degree dream job we're talking about. I was obsessed with this place. And my boss texted me and she's like, how are you not going to show up to work? Like, you're fired. And I'm like, what the hell do you mean? Like, when was this? Like, she goes, you can't not like show up to work. Like, I had a bunch of tasks for you to do and you didn't even come. Like, you didn't even tell me you weren't going to come. I waited for you the whole day and you didn't show up. I had a bunch of things for you to do, like a bunch of tasks. We ended up figuring it out here in the office, but it was supposed to be for you and you didn't do it because you weren't here. So we had to all figure it out. I don't know who figured it out, but someone else did in the office. And I'm like, what are you talking about? And she goes, yeah, you're fired. I don't want to hear it. And I'm like, but hear me out. I was there that day. How are you just going to fire me when like you're not even letting me speak? She goes, how am I going to let you speak if you didn't even come to work? And I'm like, I was there. Like, I was literally there. And who do you think completed all those tasks? I did. I completed my own tasks because I did go that day and I stayed all the way to the end. She goes, no, you weren't. Like, I didn't see you. And I'm like, but I was there. And she's like, all right, let's check the cameras. We checked the cameras and guess who was there? Me. She's like, oh my God, I didn't even see you. You're so skinny. I didn't even see you. And then she was looking at the camera and she's like, your body's giving Victoria's Secret skinny. Like, eat a cheeseburger. Like, your body's so skinny. And then, like, she zoomed into my waist. My waist wasn't there. So just because my waist wasn't there doesn't mean I wasn't there. I was there. My waist just wasn't. So I got fired from work because I'm too skinny. I wish.
Yo, how would I just get fired on my first day? I cease to amaze myself every job. But one thing I will never forget is my motherfucking work, okay? So today was my motherfucking first day at Wingstop, bitch. Wingstop. And first off, I don't even eat chicken. So to eat the food was never a thing with me. Never a thing. First red flag, I got told I was getting paid $16 an hour. She told me 14 when I got there today. But she was not the one who hired me. Someone else hired me. So I was like, okay. She was like, yeah, because you have to show me that you're worth $15 an hour. I don't want to start you off at the maximum that you can reach and you're not worth it. Who is you, bitch? Then on top of that, I'm supposed to be following somebody around all day. Training. Well, there is the manager, but the manager that's on the ship is not training me. They have this 18-year-old little ass girl training me. She stressed the fuck out. Then while they big back ass up in there eating Wendy's behind the counter, she said you have to clock out for. None of them hoes clocked out for. She said you have to wear a hat. None of them hoes wear a hat. Then she gonna tell me you can't be at the counter looking cute all day. I'm a cashier, bitch.
Oh no, you're not gonna tell me you gotta see if I'm worth $15 an hour. You gonna be seeing me walk right out of here. I'll show you, all right. I'm worth more than that. So I'll show you, nah, I'm good on this. That was the takeaway I had from that one. See if you worth it. 15 ain't nothing. And we gotta see if you worth it. These jobs are getting bold.
Hi guys. I just got let go from my job. I wasn't expecting that this morning. So I'll be fine. I worked for Midday Squares in marketing. They had to let go of the marketing division, which is fine. It just came as a bit of a shock. I'm a strong believer that everything happens for a reason. Able to maybe make more TikToks and create more content for you guys. Oh, I'm gonna miss it. I'm really gonna miss it. It was amazing. And I've learned so much in the past 8 months. I'm still in the parking lot. I haven't moved because I actually don't know how I'm gonna drive home. But yeah, I just wanted to share that with you guys and just be really real. This is life. And you gotta get up and keep grinding. If anyone's hiring in marketing, anyone knows anyone that's hiring a marketing specialist, I'm free. Onwards and upwards from here. Okay, bye.
I got fired from a job that I burned myself out for, and my biggest fear was getting fired. I was doing everything to avoid the exact thing that happened because I forgot that it was a transactional relationship. They didn't owe me anything beyond my pay, and I agreed to that. Yet somehow I lost sight of that along the way. They didn't say, hey, we guarantee you a job if you become an unrecognizable version of yourself and skip sleep and exercise and think about work 24/7. They didn't promise me a forever if I put work above relationships. I wasn't required to miss out on the moments that matter most in my life to secure a spot at the company. They didn't have to keep me. They never did. I was so mad, like, how could they have done this to me after I've done so much for them? But the joke was on me. I thought that if I gave 110% every single day of my life that they should too, but that just was never a part of the agreement. Are you losing yourself to a job that'll never give you half the amount that you're giving them? Because that sounds like a pretty shitty deal.
Lesson learned. She had to learn the hard way, y'all. I'ma just tell y'all this. And this is something I always knew. I always been a thinker, right? Always sat and thought. At the end of the day, we got to look at it from a business perspective. Let's say I'm working somewhere and I die. By the time my body hit the ground, it's going to be a whole new listing for this position. The jobs don't care about you or me. They care about ROI, return on investment. You are an investment. You a tax write-off. Red pill. Red pill. So don't burn yourself out for a job thinking they gonna keep you around, thinking that they gonna care about you, thinking that they gonna look out for you and have the same respect for you. At the end of the day, it's no feelings in business. So this is the way the boss is thinking. He got no feelings attached to it. He got no personal commitment to you. He don't got no commitment to you. He don't got no loyalty to you. None of that. He's just your employer. And he's looking at it from an ROI perspective. If he don't need you no more, he gonna get rid of you. If his investment, which is you, is no longer performing the way that he needs his investment to perform, he gonna let you go. If there's some type of innovation that allows him to advance the company and get rid of people, he gonna do that. Or let's keep it simple. If the economy takes a turn, it gets worse, and there's a need to let go of people, guess who he gonna let go? The person that gave their all to the job. He gonna have to get rid of a lot of people because he don't got no loyalty to you. He got his loyalty to the business and making sure his business stays afloat. Red pill. Red pill. We gonna end it like that, y'all. Make sure y'all watch the next video. That's gonna be on your right hand side. It's your boy YT. Wake 'em up and I'm out this thing. Peace.